This is The Moon Knight by SyddJaws. SyddJaws is actually currently in a call with me right now on Discord while we watch and then analyze this video. So let's watch it first. This kind of looks like the Batman. Oh, I see what it is. I see what it's supposed to be. The Moon Knight, the Batman. Ah, it's like a little twist. I like how you did his eyes. Oh my god. He's actually straight up just stabbing him. I didn't know he was that violent. Nice, nice. That's cool. Now, I haven't seen Moon Knight, so I think he's like crazy or something. He has like a split personality thing going on. That's cool how you did this mirror shot. Although I guess the masking isn't perfect because you can also see him in the reflection both lying down and standing up. I'm just gonna pause just in case I get a copyright strike. Hello, I hope you enjoyed. I've been working on this for 3 weeks now. This is probably one of my favorite animations. Ooh, that's cool. Here's a short BTS time lapse. All right, let's see what this time lapse is. That's cool. That's neat. Okay, so I see what you're doing here. Moving the roof every so often to help with placing the blocks and stuff, the characters. Though I wonder, that clearly affects the lighting very heavily. I don't remember there being a lot of light flicker in your animation though, so let's see how that looks. Let's see, where is it? Here? Yeah, it was, yeah, you can tell it's this scene because the roof is moving a bit. I didn't actually notice the roof moving on my first watch, since the action is pretty well framed, and honestly I'm distracted from this by the action going on here. I'm not looking at this because the action is pretty good, I think. But I guess we can actually get into the analyst part now. So I guess we'll start off with this first shot. I think this shot is pretty nice. I really do like how it opens with this train because it's one of those things where there's so many different shapes and outlines and stuff here that's like harsh against the light. It really makes the set feel diverse and very intricate. It really does add a lot to the immersion and scale. I like how you have a reflective roof here too. And even when you see the light shine a bit, you can really see the set come full circle with it actually feeling like it's inside, underground, because there's this wall that extends upward up here. And yeah, honestly, I think the set design is really great. I really like it a lot. And I think it's cool how you chose to start off your video with this shot specifically because, I mean, I think it's a good shot. It's probably what you should have started off with. Great establishing shot right there. We're in the subway. I really like how you can just, the silhouette, the lighting is really cool too because you see these characters here. You can't really make them out, but you're not supposed to. You just have to know that there's people here. And again, all these lines and stuff, it really makes it feel like cool. Like, you know, like it's good. This shot here with these characters walking. I think maybe this shot is a little bit shaky. I think what you should have done, you should have this character in focus more. So I think you should have maybe pulled the camera back a bit or, you know, focus on him a bit further. I know the C920 can focus pretty shallowly, so this should have been able to do that. But he seems to be the main focal point of this shot here. I guess in terms of animation, you just got to remember to follow the clean line of arc because if you notice here, with this guy's walk cycle, it's like his body is moving forward, but his head is staying in the same general direction. It's not really moving at consistent increments like his body kind of is. So take for example, we go frame 1, frame 2, his face moves forward, and this is fine. These two frames flow into each other. And these 3 frames also flow into each other well because his head kind of like, it looks like it's kind of being held back. You could offset this in the next frame by having his torso start leaning forward, but his body not moving as much. Because as you have it right here, it's like the body moves consistently forward, at least, well, kind of consistently, because it kind of stumbles a bit here. And then it kind of moves directly here. So if we watch that back, it kind of looks a bit like shaky, right? Like he's kind of just like, I guess, if his body were to be on a pivot, you know, kind of like that. I just did something on camera. You didn't see that in the commentary channel, but essentially, this walk cycle, his body and his head don't follow a clear line of action because you keep changing directions in the frame. So like here, he moves forward, but kind of back, then a lot forward. It's not necessarily consistent with the last couple frames with how much gap there is in between. It was hard because of the roof. I didn't try to take it off yet. I think I tried it. True, you know, stop motion can be really hard, but when you have like, you know, things like this, it's just like ways to tell you how to improve. Things will be hard, but you have to be okay with that. You can't be afraid of things being hard. Otherwise, stop motion might be a bit daunting. But yeah, even here, it just seems like his body doesn't necessarily move in a consistent, smooth line of action. He rotates a bit towards the camera in this frame, only to completely rotate away from the camera in this frame. If you have one motion going at all, and I guess I could talk about this more in the later fight, because in that fight, it seems like you follow those rules a lot better. You said this part was hard, so I guess, you know, there's reasons for this or that. But remember, even in shots like this, even like with like no matter what, it all has to say fluid. It all has to flow. I think this shot here is fine. I like the framing. I like how close we are to the characters. We really do kind of feel like we're one of them with the camera angle this close up. With moving this many characters on a flat tile with them being in such close proximity also looks pretty difficult. So there are small hiccups in the animation here. Like right here, if you look at this guy, he moves forward, then back, then left, then right. Like his whole body. Like his body moves forward, back, left, and then right, and then it moves back again. You're not following one consistent direction with this character for his whole line of action, and that is where a lot of people go wrong. This, for example, this camera is following one direct line of action, and also it does a nice little smooth. Well, it smooths into the camera movement. You don't smooth out, which I mean, I think I should probably say you don't like give the momentum time to dissipate. And by what I mean by that is essentially you have it speed up slowly, but you don't have it speed down. I mean, you don't have it slow down. Speed up, but no slow down. You have to have that slow down at the end of your motion. Otherwise, it's going to look like it just stops randomly on a dime. And that is not good for our animation cycles. I like the little rat here. Good little attention to detail. The pull-in is cool. I definitely try to reframe this, or at least rotate it in post, so that way it looks completely straight, because it is on a bit of a curve. It's on a bit of a crooked angle. It's like this is much more straight. I like how he pulls out the knife. Although I think here maybe your lighting could be just a bit brighter, so that way we can see this guy's face and body a bit better. It seems just a bit too dark, you know. Maybe just brighten up just a tiny bit, so that way you don't lose that dark feeling, but also we're still able to see the characters when we need to. He's also out of focus. Okay, yeah. Here, the animation, for the most part, it follows, like if we look at his line of action, he dips in, then he dips out and goes to the left. But he's consistently moving to the left throughout the entire animation, which is nice. It's good for his line of action. There's some hiccups here and there. You know, like if you look at his feet, for example, they're kind of like rotating, wiggling in ways that don't feel consistent. They're kind of random. But for the most part, from what I can read in motion, he pulls out his knife and he moves to the left while doing so. And he also moves a bit forward. If we look at the actual knife itself, I like this. You smooth it out. And I should probably stop saying the word smooth. but you ease it out. And you even give it a little bounce at the end. So, like, lots of increments, big gap between these 2 frames, and another big gap between these 2 frames. And then you slow it down, which is nice. That's like the key. Pew. I do like how you did this. These glowing eyes. That's cool. And that's hard, because you have to like mask it to each frame. From what I can see, this run cycle is really good. Because like, look at this. He is following his head down. And then it's like forward. You have a small stop here so that way you can change legs. He should still be moving forward in this frame too, but he moves forward again in this frame. So yeah. Not a bad cycle. I like this shot a lot. It's clear, it's clean. I would just put a little bit more lighting again because we want to see his body too. But it's still pretty clean. Okay, that's cool. Again, I like these really close-up shots. It really makes us feel like we're really a part of the action. I like this. You kind of have a bit where his sleeves are actually torn off. I would add a ripping sound effect because I thought he was putting these golden gauntlets on. But that's cool. All right, so with this animation here, I think. Sorry about that. Sorry about the sound of this fire truck in the background. But like I was saying, I think this angle might not be helping you. I get you're being reminiscent of the Batman, but let's take a look at. One second. Let's take a look at somebody else's recreation of that scene. Let's look at Forrest and analyze his in comparison. Forrest, Fire, 1001, the Batman. Because there's a way you can make an angle like this work, even though all the characters or all the action isn't quite in the most ideal place. I just need to find it. Where is? Okay, this one. It's called Vengeance. So, yeah. So one of the ways that Forrest makes this shot work is that even though it's like we're behind this character, we're at enough of a 3/4 angle where we can clearly see the arms and the movement of the arms really take hold. Not only that, but he's also like, look at his arcs. It's like he goes down right, down right, down right, down right. And then he pulls to the left, 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 up left. And now he's going to go forward again for this swing. That's what I mean when I say follow the arc. He's following the arc, and that's what makes the movement so smooth. And not only that, but this angle is good because we can see his arm clearly distinct from his head. The lighting is also good here. So that's how you can, like, you know, because it's just one of those things where, like, although the camera angle is pretty straight back, it is at just enough of an angle that we can see all the important bits. Not only that, but the guy's head, for example, right here, this character's head, it blocks the punch. It blocks the punch too much because we cannot distinguish the arm as a separate shape from this character right here because they're touching each other in the frame. Let's take another look at this one. Like right here, you can clearly distinguish the arm shape because it is separate from everything else. It's separate from Batman. It's separate from the goon. And his hand is clear. It's alone. And then he eases in to the punch. Like also right here too, you can see it again. The hand is clear. It is clearly visible. And we get enough time to really understand where it is. And we also get enough time to understand where it's going to go, based on just how he's swinging his body. So we kind of get a sense of that here, right? Because you have his hand go for the punch, and the sound effects help too. But we don't quite get a good look at him disarming the guy. I guess unless you know what else I think it is? It also might just be the fact that the camera is too far. You know, if you pulled in a little bit closer to more like a hip level, it'd be much easier to see all these details and stuff. That being said, it's not poorly. I don't think it's poorly animated. I think it's animated well enough to the point where I can understand what's going on, and the sound design helps a lot too. Like this here, for example, this little punch. But I think what you can do to make your punches have more impact and weight on them is you should have him you should have him really lean back into it. You know, here, between punches, he's not really swinging his entire body back and forth. He punches here, but his body kind of stays stiff. It rotates, but it's not rotating in a way that's very exaggerated. It leans back and forth, but you don't necessarily put weight in those back and forth leans. Like right here, for example, he leans back, but we don't really, it's not very much of a lean. He doesn't go very far. You want him to go much farther. So that way, and you want him to kind of hold his position when he gets back too. That way the next punch can be really, really powerful. These punches seem kind of soft. But they're also plentiful. You know, I guess one thing is that the trade-off is that although they're soft, they're also fast and they're numerous. He does a little quick three jab combo. I'd say, again, if we pulled the camera a little bit in closer and we had it at a bit more of a 3/4 angle, so that way we kind of get a side view as well as a back view of these characters, then I think that would have been the trick to really making this animation pop. But as it stands, I don't think it's bad either. Oh, this part is great, actually. So we get this nice clear, like, I like this. Look, you have moments like he's in this pose. You wanna keep the character's pose here specifically because this is his transition. I mean, I'm sorry, my brain's kind of like in a fog right now. So you have this pose. He's triumphant. And then you have him lean into him grabbing the knife. And I like this. Again, I like this a lot because you have these two key poses. This pose and this pose are your two key poses. And you do a really nice job actually having the movement flow into each other really well. As you can see, look, it goes down right again. Now it goes back right because it's going behind him. And then back right. And then it swings outward. That's excellent. You know, you follow the arc, it's consistent, and it looks good because of it. And then he pulls this out. The character goes, his hand goes left, it goes forward, left again, and now it curves a bit to the right, but I think this is fine. Yeah, so I think this is fine because that's like one of this pose, like right here. This animation is between 4 different key poses. It's this pose, which grabs the knife, and this is another key pose right here. And a key pose is essentially a pose that your character is in that looks like he's in it for longer because the little increments between his movements are very small. Like these 2 frames, there's not much difference between them, and you chose an excellent time to not have difference between them because this is a pose you want to highlight. And then you kind of switch really quickly into this pose where now this is what I was talking about. This is an exaggerated pose. His arm is all the way up, and it's clear that the next motion is him going to be going down, boom, just like that. And you do it quickly too, so it gives a lot of power to it. You don't waste a lot of time between your key poses, which is great. But yeah, you can see this is your key pose because again, not much changes between these 3 frames. He is essentially in the same exact position for about 5 frames here, which is excellent because that's how you give the audience enough time to react to what's actually happening. And then he goes, brutal. Really great. I love how you even have the little, what's it called? The shake here too, because that's a great way to stop momentum. If something hits something else and you have the little shake, that's how you let the audience know that all the kinetic energy that went into that is dispersing through the hand by shaking it. So this is great. I think that's a great scene. That's a great little shot at the end. Your key poses are on point. Your transitions between those key poses are also really, really great. This is a great bit. This is also good. Just him lowering the camera, just something simple, not much. But it does, give us an insight to what they're thinking. That's a really clever bit for a camera too, actually. I never thought of just using a 1x2 tile with the stud as a camera. That makes a lot of sense. I like the shot here too. Oh, I love that transition. That's a great transition. That's a great transition. Yeah, I think even like I'm gonna watch this again because I think this part of the fight is actually really great too. All the action is so clear. I love this. I love, like, we're just gonna, I don't even have much to say about this. It's just so good. I love this because you look at this angle and you get you have the perfect angle to really take in this kick. Like, this character is fully extending himself into the frame as much as possible, and the frame is getting all of it. Boom. That's a really cool shot right there too. Just, I don't know what. There's something about the sound effects that are kind of... Your sound effects sound a bit... they sound like realistic. Like, they kind of sound like they're actually being hit with pieces of Lego. Like, this is a hollow stick. And you can tell by the sound it makes when he gets hit by it. And I think, again, all these... Okay, your fighting is really great here. I think. All your arcs, they follow, they track, they're smooth. You have a good sense of, like, kinetic energy. You have a good sense of what a character should be acting like once he's hit. There's, like, shaking in all the right spots. The angles are perfect. Yeah, this is great. Oh, is that Koshu? I don't know who Koshu is. You just said in the chat I hid Koshu in it. That guy looks like he doesn't belong in the scene, so maybe that's him. Yeah, this is great. Okay, it's clear that you also have a sense of the arc as well, just because, like, look at, like, all these this tracks, this follows. This is great. You have him falling down, and then, yeah, you could even tell with the smear frame that you have, like, you know, a grasp on it, because the smear frame essentially, it makes the line of action visible to the audience, and that's what makes it look cool. It makes the arc, like, actually visible in a frame of animation. You have another one right here, and yeah, it's like, because the arc is, like, you know, it's like a circle, so that's kind of easy to follow because the arm is already on a pivot. But yeah, you put it in all the right spots. I don't really like the flashing black hole here you see right here, but that's a personal thing, and I know it's also a part of the TV show, so you know, that's just trying to mimic it. I mean, I just don't like it. I don't like it even if it was in the TV show, you know. So this scene, so one thing I think is that this kind of looks like you did this on paint, just because the black of the eyes is not the same exact color as the black of the minifig eyes. I suggest using the eyedropper tool to really get that same sort of matching vibe. I think this is a cool effect though, how you did it with the mirror, where he goes back to sleep and then he's still watching it. The unfortunate thing is you forgot to mask him out here, which you could have done by using this. Oh wait, maybe not even this frame actually. This I could have done better. I messed up. It looks like maybe you didn't get the blank frame that you needed for this. Is that what happened? Did you forget to get the blank frame? Because you got to get a blank frame if you're gonna do a shot like this. The empty frame where there's nothing in the actual set, no character, just the bed and the mirror. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Yeah, that's what happens. I still think it's a cool effect though. But honestly, out of, like, you know, I think the action, I gotta say, like, if we're at, like, at the end of this whole analysis part, I gotta say the action I think is really fun. I think there's a lot of energy to it. The smear frames are really great, and there's something about, like, you know, the way you have these camera angles that make us really feel like we're a part of the action, witnessing it firsthand, as if we are as well a Lego minifigure, which is great. I like this. I love the set design a lot. I think you chose probably the perfect shot to open this on. You know, maybe these shots could use a little bit more work. I think this little introductory sequence, but it really does get going after this. I think it really gets going when he pulls out the knife right here. Boom. I think all of that afterwards is just great. I'm not entirely sure if I can really give advice, like, for this part, because it seems like you do have a grasp on everything I even, like, talked about just talking about this scene. So I guess all I can say is, remember, there's nothing that's too hard. There cannot be anything that's too hard, you know? No cut corners. No, I'll do this later. Just, you know, if it's hard, you got to do it, and you got to focus. Anyways, I think you struggle with camera movements. I will say, yeah, this camera movement here, I told you this already, But the main issue with this first camera movement is that you slow down, or like, you know, you have the camera movement slowly pick up speed going into the camera movement, and then it picks up a lot of speed really fast, which is great, but you don't offset that speed here. But like, you know, that's, I mean, you say you got that down, and I believe you, honestly, with everything else. Yeah, I believe you. You know, definitely tape down the set, or make sure that the set is put together very, like, in a sturdy way, or at least sturdy enough that way you can lift it up out of it if you need to, but also put it back in the exact same spot. Because a lot of shakiness. Now, I'm not paying attention. I'm gonna say I'm not focusing on the shakiness, because I think the animation is pretty cool itself. But it definitely can be the next thing you do to like really elevate your videos. But yeah, I will say this set seems kind of dirty. You know, there's a little bit of some gunk on the white bricks here. You want to make sure it's always clean. You know, cleanliness is important, I think. Otherwise, it looks kind of weird. Because even if, like, you know, even if the main guy, Oscar Isaac or Moon Knight, lives in like a gross looking apartment, you want to have like those gross looking things be apparent in the set design, not in like the real world grime that the Lego bricks can get. So like, I'd say, like, you know, have like a Lego piece of pizza on the ground, or a bunch of garbage just like littered around, like, you know, like cups or trash cans or things like that. Definitely put a little bit more effort into the set design here. I don't, again, it's one of those things where like I feel like I could give you advice, but you probably already know like what to do given how good this set design here is. So yeah, I guess, you know, just give every aspect of your video that 110% effort. But yeah, you know, that's all I really got to say about it. I think this is really great animation, honestly. You know, there's a lot of cool movements. There's definitely some places where you can clean things up. But I mean, when it comes to immersion, cinematography, and action, I really do think this is a winner. I really enjoy this one. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. I hope if you were watching, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you also learned something. But until next time, peace. Well, actually, I can ask SyddJaws, is there anything you want to say? I'm not going to watch another video, but if you have anything to say about this, now's the time. Or any questions, for example, now's the time. So we're just going to wait on that. SyddJaws is typing right now as we speak, so it's only a matter of time. I wonder what he's typing. Oh, you know, actually I have one more thing I want to say. You know, maybe the ambience. This might just be a me thing, but I've used this exact same sound effect ambience before. So it kind of, I don't know, it kind of just makes, it's a little bit like it threw me out of it, I guess. But it's probably something that people have experienced with my videos too, given I used that exact same sound effect before. But it's fine. The little ambience, like right here, you can hear like the car. I didn't even notice the time ticking. That's cool. That one right there, that little car beep. That one. I typed slow. This was hard because I could get the lighting perfect. Yeah, I've sold them. Okay. Well, if that's the case, yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.